What's up, Internet? This is Doom Patton coming to you once again with ITM Magazine. We're on location here at Bohemeo's. We're here witnessing a really awesome poetry show, and we're sitting right now here with a very talented poet. Her name is Denise Lopez, aka to the lyrical world as Decolonize. So we're going to talk to her about what she does and why she does it. So let's take it from here. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Your show tonight, we witnessed a lot of wonderful intellectual lyrics, poetic lyrics coming out of you. Let's talk about where that was coming from. Does that come from just your experiences, or does that come from just something mentally?
I think it's a good combination of both of those things. I did a lot of, I started off doing a lot of activist work here in Houston years ago. I have five plus years of activist work under my belt, and wanting to bridge, kind of speaking to the choir, the same people that always go to protest or marches and things like that.
My people, learn your purpose in this life. Let's talk about why you carry a knife. The time has come to talk about the rape of Mexica poverty, and why if you're black or brown, you probably live in poverty. Let's discuss this ancient types of medicina, like agua from the agua las cocinas. Let's discuss ancient texts burned by the Spaniards, those things never taught in Rita high school yards. Let's develop the knowledge of fire and air. Let's collect all of these and throw a neighborhood fair. I'm thinking, if I even personally do to this space, maybe it'll become less and less about race and more about just nurturing your mind. Don't you think it's time to leave all this hatred behind? Let's create. That is planting some seeds. Only through this can we ever be freed, and it starts small, like a couple of people in the streets, like when Sister Parks wouldn't give up her seat. It's like a conference that happened in Santa Barbara that caused them to become, and she started
things like that, and taking it into an art world. And so I tried to find ways to fuse that, and so it was like, for me it was like, Malcolm X, Mumia, Abu Jamal, and these men that, had activist platforms but had a way of speaking, were really my inspiration to go further and take it further and become a poet, and so that, my upbringing, my education, once I went through, in college, and finding myself as, a Chicana, and calling myself a Chicana, and, becoming, reverting back mentally to like an indigenous way of thinking. So all of those things kind of came together for me, and so that's where my poetry comes from. Issues that are going on, and what I see around me, the way that the world balances, and that I exist in it. So all those things.
Well, you mentioned being a Chicana, how important is that? How significant is that to you in being a poet and being a Chicana poet? How important is that to you, and what significance does that have that you would hope to bring to life for your public when they're hearing you spit your poetry?
Well, like that word comes up a lot of times as something that wasn't always a good thing to be, and it was something that over time in the Chicano movement, people took back, took back. And so it's a way for me to identify myself as a brown woman, as a woman who's educated and who understands, like I said, this originality, connection to the land, especially being here, like being in Texas, and being aware that this was Mexico. This, that we have a history ingrained here. And so part of, calling myself a Chicana is to say, I'm here. I've always been here. And my ancestors have always been here. And it goes into like the activist world, like I said, with immigration and things like that, all these issues that you see constantly, you know, the way people react to people of color in general, to immigrants. And so by me calling myself, I connect myself with those people, and I connect myself with the people now, more modern. So, you know, and to build that network of Chicanas, you know, you don't hear it that much, and you know, in Texas, more in California and stuff, but when they see you, you know, you stand out and people relate to it. And I've had many people come talk to me and say, oh, I love that you talk Spanish in your poetry, you know, and so it's a good thing because it connects us.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. You also mentioned that you were speaking in one of your poems about your grandmother and how she had these very natural home remedies, very holistic. How important is that, and what are you hoping to achieve with that poem? What do you want people to glean out of from that poem?
Yeah, well, Bigger Love is a poem, and it's one of the more popular pieces that I do, and that piece is like, let's talk about ajo, which is garlic from our abuelita's cocina. So like the way that they use food to just keep us healthy, you know. And so by saying that, it's like we have these remedies already, and you know, one of the things that I've been able to be a part of is teaching people in a hood, or you know, like in what people would consider the ghetto or the barrio, how to eat right, and how to know that food can be your medicine. There's ways that you can use just natural elements to heal yourself, to be healthy, to live at the highest capacity, you know. And even with my name being Decolonize, you know, unlearn these ways of eating, because it's been taken away from us in such a big way. Our own produce, our own land, knowing how to create our own food supply for ourselves. And so it's one of the other things is I talk about all the time is, you know, learn how to do those things, because if there's ever a time where it's harder to reach, it's harder for you to have these things, then you've created your own way. You know?
That's awesome.
Self-sustainability.
That's really awesome, because there's that humanity there, and not just from a political standpoint, but also a personal, nutritional, healthy standpoint. So for you to be able to bring that type of information into your poetry, very intelligent and I think very poignant, you know, and very successful, I think. Very successful, I think. So you were here tonight.
Yes, yes.
Where else can the public hear you speak or hear your poetry? And with your website, of course, can you give us information about that, and also information about where we can see you next?
I tend to kind of be an introvert at times. I can be, but when I get out in the street, you know, I love to talk to people. So you can find me at Bohemeo's. A lot of time I come to their open mics, like it is tonight on a Sunday night. And the other stage that I love in Houston is Not Tuos. Houston spelled backwards, Not Tuos on Main Street on Wednesday night, and it's a completely different type of scene. It's a little bit more raunchy, it's a little bit more raw, but I just love that anything goes on that stage, and it's kind of like it's, you know, a clique type of thing. So it's interesting to be able to get in there and still share. So Not Tuos, you can find me there. I love those people. I'm also working on a CD as well, so hopefully within the by the end of the year, I'll have products too, so that when people do see me and bump into me, I'll have that. Working on a poetry book as well, and in the meantime, my ramblings of the day or things that are going on, you know, anything that's happening current, like recently Travion, you know, Martin, are talking about the libro traficantes that are smuggling, you know, books that were banned in Arizona back into Arizona for students. You know, those are things that I try to touch on my blog, that I try to write daily, but sometimes, you know, I get busy. But you can go there and check out everything that I've written. It's www.decolonize.com, and that's DEECOLONIZE.com. Also, I was here tonight because I was at a CD release party for Skef, which is another spoken word artist and promoter here in Houston who is doing amazing big things. He is somebody who sees light in people and just, you know, pulls it out of you and takes it to the next level. And so I do a radio show, an online radio show with him on Tuesday nights, the Art Form Show on Blog Talk Radio /Skef, and we have a good time. We just kind of banter. We're very different, but we have a good time on there. And so yeah, that's part of what I do.
Well, Internet, this is Dune Patton once again coming to you from Bohemeo's, and here's information that you can have. You can zone in on that. It's a beautiful card, very decorative card, informational card. Not only is she active, as you have heard from the interview, she's very active in the community, but she's very intelligent with her poetry, very passionate with her poetry. So definitely, please come out, listen to her words, become her words. Okay? Come out and just support the arts, support the artists, support the poets. That's what we're here for. We're here for you. So please come up and check her out.
Man, look past the so-called facts. Learn how our people work. Stabbed in the backs and happy. Still live under the same lies. Elitist, capitalistic, thugs with spies. Only through ancestral bravery can we ever escape modern slavery. Put down the guns, we'll start some dialogue. We'll find our way through the mirrors and fog. There's something beyond that veil used to hide. But the first change I could testify has to come from inside.